Hello, everybody. This is Patty Sampson, and I'm a real estate broker in the Scottsdale, Phoenix, Arizona area. And I'm here to share with you today some information that I have learned through my own business. This webinar has come about as a result of my huge amount of experience working mostly internet leads, and but this class and this webinar is really set up for anybody who's getting any kind of business. I've had a ton of experience trying to use CRMs and get them to be useful for me, and I thought I might want to share some information with you because it's helped me in my business, and I'm an agent helping agents, and I just love to share my information if it's helping. So this particular webinar is about how automating my prospecting saved my real estate business and gave me back my personal life. So you're going to hear a little bit more about that, but in the process of doing all this, I also learned how to close more of my expensive real estate leads without begging. So ideally, we're trying to get people to communicate with us and ask us to help them, as opposed to the other way around. So I'm also going to talk to you about the 5 must-do steps that I figured out I had to do in order to convert more deals. And I became very good at doing this process. And again, I think it's important enough that I need to share it with some other people, including you. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me here in a minute. But before I do, I want to make sure this webinar is for you. Okay, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be because this covers just about everybody who's doing any significant amount of real estate business. And even if you're brand new to real estate, I can probably guess what I'm going to share with you is going to be quite helpful to get you off the ground and started right in your business, because this is a tough business. There's no doubt about it. So let's ask yourself a few questions first. All right, I'm just going to run through them really quick. Are you generating real estate leads organically via networking, farming, open houses, or paid lead services, or any way, whatever you're doing, are you generating leads? Do you believe you should be more productive and close more sales from the leads and prospects, your past clients, referrals you've got, anybody in your database? Do you think you should be closing more of that? And even, do you even have a database? If you do, what kind of condition is it in? Is it a hot mess, as I hear a lot? Is your database a mess? Your prospects, are they all over loose sheets of paper, notebooks, binders, spreadsheets? Are they in your Outlook? But you want to put them into a CRM? Are they written on napkins? And for me, I used to write them on checkbooks when I was in the grocery store. Or you might even have a CRM that you really despise that's not working for you. But a CRM is a contact relationship management software system. Maybe you hate that system you're using, or it's just not useful for you. Are you spending tons of money on your leads and not closing enough to pay for them? Does that sound like something you might be doing? Are you using some sort of email drip campaign, but you don't know what the campaign says? You got it because your brokerage gave it to you, and you've just been putting your leads in there, and you're sending out emails and maybe texts, and you don't really know what it says, and you don't know how to edit it, or it's just not responsive because it's kind of crappy, right? Are you tired of the busy versus not busy cycle that your real estate career causes you? If you're like most of us, we're kind of up and down, right? Because that's the way our lives are in this business. Do you have a team, but you want to be more productive with your agents and get them to close more sales, get them more money by closing more sales so that you then can get more money because you're worked out a deal with them, right? You want to leverage more of your time and earn yourself more income. Do you want to take your business to the next level? And if you do, does doing something different depend on you implementing better automated prospecting systems? You're going to need to probably do that to take your business to the very next level. You don't have any time to get this all set up and wouldn't even know where to start. So when, as far as automating your business, you want to do it, or maybe you're trying to do it and you're just really stuck and kind of deer in headlights trying to get things going, don't know where to go. And lastly, are you fried? Are you lost, confused, tech challenged, overwhelmed, overworked, paying too much for your leads and have no personal life, and you need to close more? By the way, none of this above is your fault. You know why? Because we just weren't trained to do this stuff. We did not go to real estate school to learn to do these things. When 75% of our business is spent doing marketing and maybe we might do 25% writing contracts. We did not get trained to do this. So it's not our fault, but it will be our fault if we don't pick up and learn how to do it from now on. Okay. So a little bit about me. My name is Patty Sampson, as I mentioned earlier, and I am a real estate broker here in Arizona. I got my license after 17 years working as a paralegal. I have had a plethora of different positions in the real estate industry as a result of. I've never been one just to go out and not be somebody who wants to make change. So for me, it was, what can I do to help people? It has been this way since I have been out of college. I have this huge, massive desire to try to learn. If I learn something and I know it's working, I have this desire to want to help other people. So on top of the various jobs I've had in the real estate industry and closed many deals on my own and also helped many agents do it, I have now started a business, and it's consulting agents, helping agents basically close and convert more deal through automation and organization. It's an interesting little niche, I guess. I say little, but it's actually quite big. And you'll hear more about this. But the reality is I am now on a mission to help other agents with what I had to learn how to do through working thousands and thousands of leads in my career. If you're like any of us in this business, a day in the life could look just like this. And I've had this, and you immediately take it personal. If business all of a sudden is wonderful one month and the next month it's not, and then the next month it is and the next month it's not. It's like, what did I say? What did I do? Who did I offend? If you're like that, you're just like the standard person out here doing this business. It's a very difficult job, and there's no way to get it under control unless you have some systems in place to help back you up, right? So that's why I'm here, is I'm really trying to help. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of story about me. I actually had been married for I was married for 10, knew my husband for 20. We had a couple of gorgeous young boys. This is the mid 90s. At the end of 99, at the end of 2000, the beginning of the 2000s, my husband and I split up, and I was raising 2 kids pretty much on my own in Scottsdale and trying to support a family. One day, and I was doing really relatively good, working as a paralegal, a 17-year career. One day I woke up and said, I cannot push this paper from right to left, not one more second. I'm gonna just shoot myself. I can't do it. I'm sitting in a cubicle. I go to my boss and I tell my boss, and I was in just full-blown tears going, I can't do this anymore. I've got to go do something else that's going to make a difference. So I decided I was going to go find a career that I can make as much money as I possibly could in the least amount of time, right? That was going to take me the least amount of money to do it. So, we all go into real estate with this like grandiose idea that it's just going to be, I'm going to go to real estate school for 9 days. And in Arizona, you can do that. And then get out, and I'm going to just have all this, business. Everyone's going to love me because they love me now, right? And my sphere is going to give me their business. Well, it didn't work out that way necessarily, as we all know, when you're changing careers. And I was in my mid-40s when this happened, and I had 2 teenage kids at home at that point. And the reality was I needed to do something to make sure that I didn't end up in the gutter with my kids. So I ended up going to real estate school. I got my license and floundered around a little bit, but I found a company that provided me thousands and thousands of internet leads. Now, on the surface, it sounds like it might be a great thing. The reality was it actually caused me to work my butt off, and not necessarily in a good way. I had to figure out a way to manage my business. During that time frame, and this was in the early 2000s as the height of the market here in Phoenix, which is a very big market for real estate, was starting to go crazy. And, you would have had to have been somewhat of a dead body not to be able to do some sort of business, right? But I was able to do it. I closed about 42 deals my first year in real estate working for this company that provided me all these leads. But in exchange, I had to give them 65% of everything I did. 65%. Well, the reality is after about 7 or 8 years of doing that, I realized, when you don't even make 6 figures your first year in real estate selling 42 homes, there was got to be a better way to do this. So I went out on a mission to figure this out. And through that time frame, I knew I had to automate and organize because there was no way for me to do this. Well, since that time, I've closed hundreds and hundreds of transactions. Here's my boys now. They're 20, soon to be 28 this week, and 26, and they're both. They're up here because I'm giving them a ton of credit. They actually called me out one time when I picked up the phone 9 times during dinner. Waiting, I'm running, trying to be a nice realtor and take care of my kids. I put dinner on the table and then picked up the phone 9 times. And now, when your kids call you out, right? And your kids call you out because you've been picking up the phone too much during dinner, you know that you're obsessed, right? That being said, I was able to pick up the phone 9 times during dinner. Not that I was proud of it, but because I was doing a lot of activity. By automating my business, people were calling me. They were reaching out to me, asking me to help them because I was getting in front of them with things that I knew that they had an interest in, right? It was kind of like a dating website, I guess. I had to get some information in front of them to get them interested in me so that they would call me, right? And I won't even go into how my husband and I met, but my current husband. But the bottom line is my kids survived, and they're here. This is a wonderful story because they supported me through this whole thing. And this was just this year, and they're grown, and we're all happy now doing our thing. But the reality was, it wasn't easy, and I had to learn. And so I'm so excited to be here today to share with you what I've learned. So my goal for you is to get you to convert more of your leads and prospects through automation, lead management, and organization consistently, and get you back your personal life. So if you are really busy and you've got a lot of stuff happening, or you don't have enough, but you have a bunch of leads, right? Or maybe you're wanting to get some leads and you want to get this set up ahead of time, you're a smart person to be doing that because you need to be getting your systems in place before you start spending money on your expensive leads. Now, this is going to be a theme during this webinar because I can't stress enough how important it is. We all go out and spend money on leads, and then we think the world's going to be, our whole life's going to be saved because they're just going to drop out of the sky and the people are going to want to work with us. Well, it does not work like that. People don't get online today, or they don't give you their information today and buy tomorrow. They've got to trust you first, right? So what are you going to do to get them trusting you? So that is my goal. My other part of this goal is to help you 12x your closings. Now, when I say that, basically what I'm saying is the average agent might close 7 to 8 deals a year. Realistically, I want to see you close at least 12 more deals a year at minimum. What that means is one extra deal a month, right? 1 extra deal a month. That is the goal. And realistically, if you've got a database full of people in there, how can we re-engage those people and get those coming out of the woodwork to come talk to you? What can we do? I also want to tell you that, and as a part of this webinar for joining me today, I'm going to provide you a free holiday video campaign. And I'm going to say I'm so excited because I've been working on it, and every major holiday there's a video that's going to go out in this campaign that's going to help you stay in front of your or your spheres or whoever you have that you want to send it to. So hang on, I will give you more info on how to get to that, but here's some examples of what you're going to see in the videos. So let's get on with this. First of all, I am an agent helping agents. I've been where you are. So as a result, I've got 3 major things that I want to make sure that I cover with you, and they're little secrets that I've figured out through the years. Number 1 is how automating will increase lead engagement and increase your sales. All right, secret number 1. Secret number 2, how engaging email text campaigns can save your business, right? So automating is one thing, and then actually the engagement part is another. So we tend to send out a lot of crap as agents sometimes. The numbers of people that ask me about newsletters, I'm not a fan of newsletters, mostly because they kind of put them in a tin can and they don't always work for that part of the world that you're in, right? If you go and buy a newsletter from your brokerage or from a title company or whatever, they're not always really useful for you where you live and work. So let's talk about engagement if you're going to do it, And then secret number 3, how to efficiently and quickly build your automation systems in one place. And I want to also add affordably on this, because we tend to want to go out and spend a lot of money as agents, and then we don't really realize at the end of the year how much we've spent. So we're going to talk about these major 3 secrets that I've developed and figured out through my time frame of being a realtor. So does any of these look familiar to you? Probably. At some point in our careers, most of us have gone through doing something along these lines. Facebook is really, really big right now as far as getting leads. I'm not poo-pooing any of these lead sources. I'm just saying if you're spending money at all, of any way, shape, or form online, some of these probably look familiar to you. So my goal is to get you to close a few more of these guys. But let's do a little bit of stat checking here a little bit. First of all, where most buyers have found their homes have been number one on the internet. We see that, right? We know that. I think statistics through NAR say that 89 or 90, I think it's more than that, but 89 or 90% of people start their home search on the internet, right? So even if you're going to sell, a lot of people will start on the internet. Then they've used different sources to actually find the house that they wanted. The agent might have done it through yard signs, whatever, but you can see the majority of people are online. Now, if that's the case, you have to decide, is this something that you want to do? Do you want to be online? One of the most important things to consider is, are you going to be able to manage that if you're going to do it? Because we know people can stay up in the middle of the night and get leads, right? And and sign up for house information, right? As a result, you're getting leads. So here's some statistics about that on internet leads. Over 93% of people, okay, here's the actual stat. I think that was from 2014 or something. According to NAR, 48% of agents don't even respond to their internet leads. Now, it sounds crazy, but it's true. And from my training experience, it is amazing to me how many people I talk to who say, yeah, they've been paying for leads, yet they have not done anything to communicate with them, partly because they're overwhelmed and, you know, they don't even know where to start to do it. And then studies show that consumers overwhelmingly use the agent who responds first. That's 66% of the time. Now, if that's the case, even if you have no experience in real estate, if you're the warm body who calls them right off the bat before anybody else does, look at your percentage of being able to close a deal, right, with them. And then the average agent of the leads that they're getting will close less than 1%. It's nuts. So think about that. 100 leads, you might close one of those. Now, that's because of not having systems in place, right? And training and the right content and the stuff that you know that you should be sending to them. Well, maybe you don't know, you know. That's the problem. We were never taught. We really were never taught. So what else do we know about being able to close deals with people? Well, this is just kind of a national sales statistic, but you can see that it takes a number of contacts before you actually do communicate with them enough that they're going to want to work with you, right? So let's just cut to the chase and go down to the bottom. 8% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that that contact has got to be phone calls every time, right? So if you add up between phone calls and texting and sending listings, sending your newsletter, doing your sphere, you know, just staying in touch, sending engagement, calling, obviously, occasionally would be a good idea. Believe it or not, if you stay in front of them, it goes back to, you know, who gets online today and buys tomorrow? They've got to think it over. This is not a cheap expenditure for somebody. You know, it's not like I walk into a dollar store and buy something without a whole lot of thought. You know, there's a lot of money invested in this. You just cannot expect people to work with you just because you're wonderful or your picture's great on Zillow, right? So let's really consume this and understand that if you don't stay in front of them, they're going to forget about you, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. This goes back a little bit like the previous thing. Do your closings look like this, right? And again, I can't tell you, this happens to just about everybody who's been in this business for a while. So you're up and down and you're up and down. And we're trying to kind of level this out. Ideally, we want to get this leveled out. So let's talk about how much you are spending on marketing and leads, right? If you're doing anything at all, you're spending time, you're spending money, most likely. So you might be sitting open houses. Well, that's time out of your day. And in the end, it's money because you're sitting there, right? Which you could be doing something else. So if you're spending $500 a month, that's about $6,000 a year, right? $1,000 a month on your marketing, $12,000 a year. 1,500, 18,000 a year, 2,000 a month, right? about 24,000 a year. Now, people that are getting 100 or so leads a month are easily spending at least 2,000 a month. If you're doing any kind of, online lead advertising, whether you're doing it on Facebook or buying leads from Zillow or Boomtown accounts and conversion accounts, all the things that us agents have been sold. And I'm not saying, again, that they don't work. I'm saying we're spending a lot of money. Have you sat down and actually figured out how much you're really spending? Are you managing that? Are you understanding it? Because it's so easy to spend 200 here and 100 over here, and then all of a sudden at the end of the year you go, when you're doing your taxes, and realize how much you've spent. It's crazy, So what would happen if closing even one more sale? What could it do for your business? Could it pay for your marketing for the whole year? I'm going to guess it probably could, but we just got to get better about what can we do to get that one extra sale done. So let's kind of back up a little now. So how does $1,000 compute for you? Like if you're spending for every $1,000, what does it actually get you, right? $1,000 a month might be a marketing budget for a year of $12,000. You might get 30 to 50 leads a month out of that, $1,000. Just from experience doing this, you might, depending on your lead source, obviously. Average agent sells about 7 homes a year. Right? So that's only $9,000. And so if you had $9,000 estimated commission, and I do emphasize estimated, but at a commission sale of $300,000 sale, that's $63,000 a year if my computation was right, if you're closing only 7 deals, right? Now, that's, I'm going to guess, is not necessarily a bad income for some people, but I mean, if you're going to get into this business, you have the ability to sell way more than that, right? And to make more than that, right? So what happens then with one extra closing? If you're with that same sale, that same $9,000 commission, if you were to do one extra closing a month for 1 year, right? Now you're at $108,000 more on top of the 63, right? If you were just doing that, if you just get one extra closing, how could that help you? If you were to effectively automate and manage your business a little bit better, how could that help you? So let's go into secret number 1. I needed to lay down some groundwork because we need to be thinking about this stuff as we figure out whether or not we want to take the time and the energy and start this automation process. Okay, so secret number 1, how automating will increase our business. Well, you probably know about some of these, but maybe not. Reasons to automate. Number 1 is getting all your prospects in one place. Like I was saying earlier, I used to drive, like my phone would be ringing and I'd have to I'd be in the grocery store and I'd go in my purse, and I was not very smart at the time apparently because I never seemed to have any paper on me, and my pens always never seemed to work. And if you're a man, I don't know, you guys walking around with pads and paper in your pockets, I mean, I don't know, but I can tell you as a woman, it was even hard. Just being able to find something to write on and then not forget about where I put it and not lose it, right? So getting all your prospects in one place is really a major reason to get yourself automated. Also, believe it or not, automating can help you generate leads, right? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how that happens, right? But you can, just by automating, you can generate more leads through doing that because you're organically getting seen through your automation. Okay, we'll go into that a little more. Stay top of mind and repeat referral business. I mean, there's no better reason to automate that because you want people to remember you when they are ready, right? They may not be ready right away. And if they're not ready, you need to stay in front of them. So you need to stay top of mind. And also through good automation engagement, if you're doing and sending information that they care about, you should be able to identify in your database who's warm and who's hot, right? And for instance, if they're opening your mail, if they're clicking on your listings you're sending them, can you see that? First of all, are you sending them something that gets them to want to open it? What are those subject lines like? Once they get them open, what's in there? What's inside that piece of communication, whether it's a text or it's an email or it's a Facebook Messenger? Are you able to tell when people are communicating with you? Because that's a hot sign. And I say opening your mail and clicking links is communication. So we want to see, can you tell that? And by organically increasing your online visibility. we can do this through automation. So the generating leads and the organically increasing online visibility kind of go hand in hand, right? So the more that you can be seen for your niche. So if you're buying leads in a certain niche, for instance, a certain zip code, or you're focusing on single level homes in the desert or something, that should be a niche for you, right? And if you're paying to buy leads for that, then why not drive those leads back to you over and over again, back to your website? So that if somebody organically ran a search on Google, could they find you for that particular niche, right? Great reason to automate. And then, of course, the obvious is balancing your personal life with your business life. I mean, there's just nothing more, I think, empowering than to be able to do that, because you don't want to be working, 24/7. I as much as I love to work, and I really, really do, getting a break every now and then and knowing that my systems in place are helping me are huge, absolutely huge. So what are the reasons we don't automate, right? From doing this a long time, helping agents and including myself, these are the three major reasons. I'm going to boil them down to three major reasons. Number one, it takes too long to implement. And most of us will say, I don't even have the time, I'm too busy, and it just takes too long, I don't even know where to go with it. Also, I got a CRM, or I don't have one, but I don't know what I'm doing with it, and I have no idea how to move around in it. It's too hard. And as realtors, again, it's one of those things, we weren't designed in most cases. We're type A personalities. We're not sit at computer types, right? It's hard. It's difficult. It is difficult to learn. And just from teaching people through the years, for some reason, I always like to call myself I was lazy. My laziness actually made me efficient. So I thought, well, if I'm going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, then I'm going to figure out how to do this so I'm not reinventing the wheel every time, right? So, and then the last thing is we're just too busy, and we don't have the time to set it up. And it does take time. If you don't have systems set up for you already, it can take time for sure. So these are the three major reasons, and instead we would just rather go, oh, I'll do it another day. And then time goes by, and then time goes by, and then we're not really getting to our goals because we're not doing it. So let's go through my 5 secret steps. They're not even secrets. We're all doing this somewhere along the line. But I know that by staying consistent with doing these steps, that I was able to close more deals and way faster. And if I did it on every single transaction or every single deal that I had or every single lead that I received, I knew that if I stay consistent, that I'd be able to keep closing more deals. And the more I did this, the better I got at it. So the first thing is anytime you get a lead, you got to pick up the phone. I mean, there's just no rhyme or reason why you wouldn't want to do that. Don't spend money if you're not going to pick up the phone, whether you're going to be able to text them or make a phone call, right? How can I help you at this time in your research? As simple as that. And most people are starting their research, right, with their home search, whatever it is, home or sale, whatever they're doing. So your easy question is, how can I help you at this time? And whether it's in a phone call or a text, again, that's up to you. You could do both, which I highly would recommend. Number 2, you want to send an email, right? I like to send one to thank them and provide them information that they asked for. So I think one of the biggest mistakes us as agents have been doing is we're going out and spending all this money on like lead generation on Facebook. And we're offering up something, and then we turn on a drip campaign that we don't even know what the drip campaign says, right? And then we're not sending what the people signed up for. It's kind of annoying, I think, as a consumer. Why would you even do that? Why? I mean, the consumer is not going to be real thrilled with you if you're trying to scam. You're basically scamming them, trying to get their information and not sending them what they asked for. If you could automate that, wouldn't that be awesome? Where the minute that they signed up for something, you're sending it, you thank them, and here, oh, by the way, you asked for this, here it is. It doesn't matter what you're offering. You've got information from them. Send them what they asked for. And then the big thing is most people, all they really care about, and the bottom line is, are you sending them what they need? And that's listings, right? Anything educational, anything you can send, and market updates, anything going on in their community. If it's for sale, if it's for a listing, or if it's a buyer, reality is you're going to want to make sure that you're sending them something related to what they signed up for. So That's an easy one because we know we can do it through the MLS. I'm going to show you an easier way though. Engaging drip campaign. So now not only are you sending them listings and market information, but you also want to stay in front of them with providing them helpful information, anything that's going to help educate them about the process, right? Also just checking in, right? So how are you doing that? You know, and this should not be something that goes on only for a week. Again, people don't get on today and buy tomorrow. A lot of times they're going to take months. And you know, especially if you're doing internet leads, you don't really know how long it's going to be before they are ready to do something. So don't assume a lead is bad if you're not hearing from them right away. Okay, and then the last thing, and probably one of the most important things, is when they do finally reach out to you, are you responding fast? You know, and in our minds, responding fast might be 2-3 days. Heck no. You know, we saw from earlier, you know, this is the age of instant gratification. So when people ask for something, they expect to get a response back from you, especially if you're sending them stuff and then you're offering things in your drip campaign, then you don't turn around and give it back to them when they ask for it. That's not real good service, right? So they're going to want to work with you the faster you get back to them, and they're going to love you for that. So anyway, the 5 key steps to faster lead conversion, really, really key. So all 5 steps can and should be or fully, partially automated. Yes, you can do that. And I am a firm believer that by automating, you can still be personalized. You can personalize what you're automating. Does that make sense? And it does come into play through the use of fields and things like that when you're building templates in whatever systems you're using. So let's talk about the systems we're using. I don't know if any of you are using anything. Most of us are using something of some sort, whether you're tracking things in an Excel spreadsheet or you're using your Outlook or you actually have CRM tools. Here's some examples of popular CRM tools: Top Producer, LionDesk, Fusionsoft, Wise Agent, Realty Juggler, RealVolve. I could go on. There's a ton. But that's an example of a contact relationship management system, right? Where it's built, not like I'm looking at these. Most of these are set up for real estate and Fusionsoft, not necessarily, but the price ranges too. Monthly, everybody's going to be paying something for this. Some of it's, you know, more expensive than others. Some of it's more intuitive than others, but it's really going to be a matter of, you know, what you're able to, for lack of a better term, emotionally be able to handle when you're choosing a CRM. Because I say emotionally because our CRM becomes very personal to us, and we do have an issue sometimes with being able to go into a CRM and really feel comfortable in it. It's like moving into a new house. If you never really feel comfortable in it, you're never going to really want to stay there, right? So your decision to pick up on something and go in and make sure that you're going to keep using it. And again, it does come down to using it, which I'll harp on in a little while. But then you've got this kind of hybrid type system where you've got a software that actually has a CRM mixed with a website, right? So you get the website combination, which I actually started in my business something similar. When I first got into real estate, I was using a tool that was proprietary to the company I was working for, but that one did have a website connected to a CRM tool, which was pretty cool. And be able to see what the activity is that consumers are doing on the back end of your website, pretty powerful, right? If you can see them logging in, you can see what they're printing, driving direct, that kind of stuff, pretty powerful. If your current website has the ability to hook in with a CRM, and have that, and there's a lot of CRMs out there now that are starting to do that, where their API connection is connected and they can see the activity through their CRM tool. That's great. Then you've got just the automated email software out there, and there's a few of them out there that a lot of us are using. MailChimp's a big one. BombBomb's for video. So you have just a CRM tool, just an email service tool. So you're not really able to track your business like you should, you know, in one of the contact relationship systems. So these are kind of your options, right? This is a lot of what I see agents using, or mostly what I see on the screen, and that's cool. I mean, my key is I don't care really what system you're using, as long as you're using something that you will get in and use. And if you find that the system is overwhelming to you, you will never go in there. And if you don't go in there and use it, you will not get good at using it. And then you will shut down. So that is a problem with most of us who are putting off doing this because we're afraid we're not going to use it. But if we could build something in here that would actually get the activity and you would go in there and know that it was your office every morning, you know, then that's great. And I'm telling you, to have a whole database just full of names that doesn't have any way to be tracked, if you can't go in there and search it, then it's not that great of a database. I mean, it's one thing to be able to send out campaigns and things, but if your database is not able to be searched for the hot business, then, you know, I'm kind of like, why bother, you know? Sitting around and waiting for people, you know, to do something is not necessarily the best practice. If you're sending out the right stuff, the people will probably come to you. But wouldn't it be great if you could just run a search today and see who's opening your mail and clicking on links and things? So that's kind of a hot buying sign, right? All right, let's go on to secret number 2, how engaging email and text campaigns can save your business. So that it saved my business, right? I know that without automating through email, at the time we didn't have automated text systems when I first started, but you do now. But I can't even imagine how I would have even survived in real estate knowing I was getting 100 or 150 leads a month. The objective of your email. So let's go into a little bit about why you would even want to do this. What is the objective? You know, why you even bother sending anything out? Number one, we want your clients to get your information you're sending, open and read them, right? So by seeing that they're opening and reading, that tells you a lot about the lead. Plus, you're providing them helpful information. Your next thing is you want to get a response, right? So if you're sending out something that's not getting a response, probably not very good stuff. Now, are you going to get a response from everybody? No, you won't. But that's okay. You're getting a response. If you don't send anything, you will never get a response, right? And of course, your last thing is to get an appointment. I mean, that's the bottom line. Always engage and offer helpful information. You know, the more you do that, the more people are going to trust you. So here's an example as well. You're going to start sending out stuff. You want to make sure that you're getting your mail open. So this is some ideas on things you could be doing to write killer subject lines. The subject line is the first line of defense if you're going to be sending emails. And I know some people think email is dead, but I am not in agreement. Every day in my system, I get mail back from automatic drip campaign mail that goes out from people. And it may just be I'm not looking anymore, and I'm fine with that, you know, but you got to get your mail open in order to get a response. And our biggest issue, I think, when we go to write things is that we put nondescript drip or subject lines in our drip mail. So, you know, if you're sending out something and people don't have an idea what your business is, that's not good. So here's some examples. One of my favorite things to do is to kind of let them guess what's inside the letter, but I also make sure they know I'm a realtor. So, you know, I'm going to show you some examples here, but these key things, really important, really, really important. You want to make sure that you're covering that when you're writing them. So here's an example, and this, literally, this stuff comes from real things that I've seen, because I've seen a lot as far as email campaigns go. And I can tell you these are absolute examples of the kind of stuff you see. Now, you get a new lead. Here's a sample, right? You get a new lead from realtor.com or something, right? And you decide you're going to send them an email, the consumer, and your name is Patty Sampson. Well, my last name used to be Anderson before I got married. And the reality is you got somebody sending from Patty Anderson, and the subject line says, just left you a voice message. The point here is where in that email, before they even get it open, does it say I'm a realtor? And this is a fine example of the kind of stuff that I used to see and that people do. And that some of these pre-built drip campaigns that you buy out there with some of these CRMs have, you know, the coffee thing, drives me crazy. Would you like to meet for coffee in the subject line? Well, you're some stranger to them right now. They don't know you from Adam, right? So what could you do to get your mail open, right? So at least get your mail open. They're not always going to respond, but you could go in, number one, and change your from line, right? And whether or not you're in a CRM or you're in a your own personal Gmail accounts or your company's email accounts, go into your edit settings and where your name is, and change up the first name and the last name, right? It doesn't even necessarily need to say you, or you can just put your first name in, but you get the idea. So I want you to go into your settings and go and change this. It's going to be huge for you, okay? Then your subject line, you'll notice I'm a fan of pulling their first name in. And if you have the ability to build templates, or if you're just writing them yourself, put your name in there, put their name in there. There's a lot of good reasons for doing it. Number one is it's going to catch your consumer's eye. Number two is if you ever need to go back and run a search in your database or in your email system to find something you emailed to somebody and you don't remember anything other than their first name, it makes your life easier by just going in there and running a name search. I do that all the time. It's for my own benefit. You know, if I'm trying to track something down in an inbox that you don't even want to see my inbox because it's full. But I tend to keep every email I have instead of filing them away. But if you've got ways to manage it, and this is one way, then I like to do that. But it also is eye-catching, you know. And you'll notice in every single one of these that they're going to mention something about properties, right? Something that's going to discuss home value or something home related. If I'm a residential specialist, if you're a commercial specialist, you definitely want to talk about commercial properties or something related to real estate needs to be in that subject line, right? So the combination of the two things is going to get better open rates. Average agent may not get their less than 10% of their mail open, right? From my experience, I'm in the high 20, low 30 range on any given day. So you want to get your mail open, right? And we're just so inundated, the world is, with email anyway, that, you know, anything you can do to get your mail spotted in the big mass of mail that comes into some people's accounts. You know what it's like, right? So the effective email subject lines, you want to personalize them as much as you can. You'll notice I put in Scottsdale, I think, in one of these. You put in the city, you know, that helps a lot. Effective subject lines, personalized. Yes, you can personalize your templates, right? And so I'm also in this going to be providing you a free gift. I'll be emailing it to you for sitting through this wonderful webinar. You're going to get some subject lines as well that I'm going to provide you for hanging out with me today. But some of my favorites, right, that I like. So, all right, now that we got our mail open, what are we going to do to get people to communicate? What kind of content are you going to send them? You know, what are the things you have to think about when you're writing? This works really well, although I don't want you to scare them so much, but putting a little fear in them about what's going on in the market could be really important, right? And so by just instilling a little bit, hey, I heard interest rates were going up this week, you might want to check with us, we've got great lenders, blah, blah, blah. So instill a little bit of fear. You obviously don't want to scare them to the point where it's, you know, you're doing, you know, Bela Lugosi type scaring, but you know what I mean. Exclusive. What do you have that other agents don't have, right? What are you offering? What can you provide them? You know, coupons or rebates or, you know, learn about my awesome website. It's better than everyone else's. Whatever you have, you got to make sure they know what that is, right? So make sure and offer that in your email marketing or your text marketing. Greed. People are greedy. Let's face it. I'm greedy. We're all greedy. So provide something that they're receiving the best of anything that you can provide them, right? So they know that they've got something of value they're getting from you that might be different from somebody else, okay? And guilt. This works really well. I never want to be a nuisance, but that worked really well for me, and it still does. And that's not something I would send out like right in the first week, but by laying a little bit of guilt on them, I've been sending stuff to you for months now, and I believe you've been enjoying it. You know, I haven't heard from you. I want to keep, you know, sending you stuff. So lay a little guilt on them for not responding to you if you can, because that usually works pretty well. At least you know they're still alive, even if they're not ready, right? Okay, need for approval. They need to know that what they're doing is right. So anything you can do to kind of pat them on the back is a great thing to do. All right, so think about that as you're going through and you're writing up your emails. If you need to write your own that aren't that very good, that's what I'd be looking at, is trying to really fine-tune What is your content? And make sure that you're providing something to get them to respond to you, right? That's the goal. So your top tips when writing content. First of all, offering services and providing anything that's informative. In Arizona, we have an Arizona Buyer Advisory that's put out by the Association of Realtors, and there are, oh God, hundreds and hundreds of links in there, right, of all different things that people do for research. In your state, wherever you're at, you might have something similar to that. You could write a piece of content for every single one of those links that you could send out. And what do we know about when people click on links? If you have a good CRM, and people are clicking on it, that's a hotter buying sign than somebody who's not even opening your mail, right? Or someone who's opened your mail but didn't click on something, right? Do not use all caps. I'm a big fan. It's just lazy and it looks like you're yelling at them. Keep your emails as short as you can. Use bullet points. Many people only read the first line too, so if you can see the first line in the view, the preview of your email, put something really eye-catching in there to get them to open it if you can. So, but keep them short if you can. Now, I will say that I'm not always keeping mine short if I'm providing information, but I'll try to bullet point if I'm going to go longer. Personalize as much as possible. If someone's asking about a house or a particular property or something, if you can put an address or a city or something in there, the better off you're going to be to get that open and get it responded to. And I like to use their name. So I would build a template that actually will pull their name in a couple spots. I'm not going to go crazy because then it will look like it's canned. But you can put their name in at the beginning if you're getting first names. And thank you very much. I look forward to hearing from you, Patty, at the end, right? So what's stopping you from adding in some fields, extra little fields for that? Use hot button words like market, foreclosure, sale, down payment, whatever's hot for today's market or whatever's going on. You want to throw that in there if you can, because that'll get people responding to you. And then, of course, ask open-ended questions. A yes or no response will at least tell you they're alive, but if you can get them talking, the better off you're going to be. And one of the things I really like to do is if somebody responds back to me for something, I'm going to ask them yet another question. So I'll keep going, just trying to keep the conversation going. Or I'll say, oh, I also have a relocation guide. Would you like that? So I'll just keep it going, right? By the way, I don't normally just give people stuff. I usually ask if they want it, because that'll give them a reason to get back to me. If I just give people stuff like a buyer guide or a relocation guide or down payment assistance or something like that information, then they're just going to look at it and go, oh, that's nice, and never write me back, right? So always think about that when you're writing up. Ask a response. That was one of our biggest issues. We never ask for a response, right? Ask questions. Call to actions, right? Call to actions are not, oh, let me know when you need my help. That's not a call to action. A call to action is a flat out question. And I like to put them toward the end of my letters, usually so that's the last thing they think about, right? And try to get a response if we can. Use spell check, and these days grammar check. I tend to miss words when I'm typing because I used to type 100 words a minute, and as I've gotten older, I tend to miss words. It's just my hands aren't working as fast as my brain. Create email and text templates when saying the same thing over and over again. And you'll see that for me, it was always about efficiency. What can I do? If I'm going to say the same thing over and over again, I want to create a template for it. And then these days, there's a ton of software out there, including our CRMs, that you can create video and insert those links right into your emails and your text. So it's hot and it's really engaging. So the more that you can do of that, the more people are going to connect with you. So if you have the ability to do that, then by all means you should be trying to plop some of that in there. And it doesn't need to be overly produced. In fact, the more natural you are, the better off you're going to be. So here's just a quick example of a subject line and a body of a letter where I have created as a template. And it basically is pulling in their first name in the subject line. You'll also see in the subject line that I mention a city, right? So that's eye-catching. It's enough to go, oh, wait, yeah, I signed up for information in Scottsdale. I'm going to get my mail open, right? First name I'm pulling in, obviously, and then you'll see in the body of the letter I can bring in Scottsdale, and realistically you can create templates for these things if you've got fields in your CRM to be able to put the areas and the cities that these people are looking in. So you don't have to write these necessarily, or you can just have campaigns set up specifically for that city, right? And if you know, or a template that's built specifically for that city. So you certainly can do that. And then you'll notice too, I asked a question at the bottom, right? Last thing I asked. And also, I just plugged in, I put my website back in there to start looking at properties again, right? So you get an idea of the way I write these things to get people to respond. This is why I do so well, because number one, I'm getting my mail open, right? And the biggest thing is I'm asking a question, trying to get them to respond, right? So ideally, you want to make sure that you're doing that in every email that you send out or text if you can. So yeah, on your text, then you can see you can do the same thing right here, and we can build the text right into your drip campaigns without any issues at all. And you can pull in the fields of your consumer as well as your own information. And of course your website links. I usually like to use the website as a signature line too sometimes, so that works pretty well. But yeah, you can build them right in, and it's great because they're templates and they're built right into the campaigns if you choose to, or you can just have them individually sent out within the software pretty well. So, all right, secret number 3, we're moving along here. How to efficiently and quickly build your automation systems all in one place. Let's talk about that. This is pretty typical. Now remember, the reasons we're not automated, right? Went through these earlier. These are the top reasons why we're not automated. Then let's figure out a way to get ourselves kind of more set up so everything's all in one place. So the insanity that we're doing is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results, right? So ideally, we want to be able to find somewhere that we can build this all in one location so that we're not all insanity. But what do we need to do to get sane, right? The first thing is we have to start working smarter and not harder. And one of my big things that I used to say is being busy does not mean we're successful, right? And we tend to feel like, oh, I'm going to get up, I'm going to be a realtor today. You know, my first broker told me, you know, you're not a realtor until you start opening doors, right? And start getting into houses. So you could be home, you could be going to classes, you can be doing all these things that you think are going to create you business, but if you never get out and start doing it. So, but we need to work smarter at what we're doing so that we can start to do that. Other actions, we need to take action. Our action speaks louder than words, right? So if we are going to say we want to do something, then just let's get off our butts and start doing it, you know? And believe it or not, once you do it, take that first step, and maybe you're scared, maybe you're new at this, or maybe you're just tired, then your action needs to be something that's going to help you get less tired, right? If you're new and you're afraid to walk out the door or open the door or meet somebody for the first time, your action has to be get out and do it one time, because it's going to get easier, right? It will get easier. Nip your excuses in the butt, right? Nip them right now, because there is no excuse, especially when you've got things that are kind of helpful, that are already kind of pre-set up. If you can find those things, you're going to be way easier. This is going to be way easier for you, right? Implement fast and clean up later. And I say that because there's a lot of tools out there that we could be out there buying and all this stuff. First of all, we got to get a tool that's going to work for us, whoever we are, right? And we all have that personality that one thing's going to work better than another, right? So, but then you're going to get this system up and you're going to probably start to critique it. And I just know this from experience, that you're going to go, well, that letter's not really written like I'm going to spend the next 3 days or 5 years or whatever it is to rewrite these things because they're going to be better for me after I get done. Well, the reality is it's never going to happen. So we want you to implement fast and worry about cleaning up later, right? So you get the right things in place, you can clean them up later, and then trust yourself that you can do it. You can do this. You notice what words getting spelled out here? So you can do this because it's not that hard. You just got to get the right things in place to help you. And yes, you can close more of your sales, and you can close them easier and you can close them faster by becoming more sane out of what it is you're doing. So what if you had these particular things in place to get everything all in one place? If you had prospective buyers or sellers signing up, right, and back to the same screen where we're getting leads from some source. Open houses, networking should be in here as well, right? What if? And then that lead, we're able to get that lead and route it. Now, if it's an online lead, one of those signups, you obviously should be able to get systems in place to be able to have the leads show up into your CRM. Now, in my case, I'm doing a screenshot here. I use LionDesk, which is a great CRM tool. But you have the lead route automatically into your CRM, right? So especially if you're doing online business. Now, a lot of us are doing a variation. We're buying realtor.com leads. We might be spending money on Facebook ads. We're sitting open houses and we're meeting people on the road, right? So realistically, not everything's going to be able to automate in, especially if you're meeting people, right? You'll have to put that somewhere after you meet someone. But if you were able to have let's say a landing page in place that you could say, yeah, I'm going to meet someone, let me fill your information out while you're on the road, boom, 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 and you type it in and it automatically loads into your CRM. That would be the way to do it, right? So there are, or tell your person that you met, here, go here, fill out the info, and I'll get it over to you, and it automatically loads into your CRM. So there's different ways, even with the people that you've met personally. But if you're able to get your lead automatically in, now you're not having to deal with, oh my God, now I've got to get home and get it in, and how do I do that? Once it comes in, right, now, especially if you're doing online business and you know you're advertising for something particular, in this case, Zillow ad, you're paying for a zip code in Zillow, right? Wouldn't it be great if you could have these leads come into a system and automatically turn on for you, right? So that the campaign's automatically going to send them what they signed up for. And that can happen, right? So here's an example of what my screenshot looks like for the leads that I'm using, my Zillow campaign that I have that I send. So, and then when it comes in, I'm able to actually say, I know it's coming from that source, and I'm going to turn on that campaign, right? So we have the system all set up to automate this. It's automatically going to do it. Now, not only that, but my campaign has an email and text template in it, if we want the text to go out, that will drive them back to look at properties, right? So ideally in the day, I used to go into the MLS every time I got a new lead, right? Because I didn't have the tools as souped up as they are now, but I'd have to go to the MLS. And I could see they were looking at certain properties, and I would just go ahead and send them a list of properties that I thought were similar to what they were interested in. So I had all these preset saved searches. To this day, they're still in my MLS. But now I've wised up because you figure, if an average agent doesn't close, but maybe, 5 to 10%, if you're any good at this, of your leads, realistically, we want those leads to help us anyway. So I'm going to send them back to look at my listings, but I'm sending them back to my website now, right, instead. So this was a screenshot from April 17th. I've been using, I had a new website built for me a couple of years ago, and so, these are the number of views that I can get over any given day from just having somebody sign up for leads. So I would drive them back to my website over and over again, right? And it was built right into my campaign. So they're automatically getting the stuff. As a result of that, I got on the first page of Google in 4 months by letting the leads that I paid for, and you could probably run the search for North Phoenix Luxury Homes and find my website there. So get on the first page of Google underneath the ads. So the arrows are all ads, right? The first thing there for the search called North Phoenix Luxury Homes is me, right? That's my website. And it's one of many. I've got a few websites. But so reality is, by doing the automation and letting the leads I pay for drive them back to my website, they were looking at listings, right? I was sending them back because they signed up for luxury home listings that I paid for through a lead service. And now I'm organically, this is not an ad, right? I'm here on page 1 of Google, and it only took me 4 months to get here, by the way, by doing showing you what I did, right? Then, now you've got the people responding to you. Now, these are literally screenshots of text that came in over a time frame of people asking or just giving me an update. Just getting, ideally, a warm body to respond to me and get some idea of what they're doing. And this is happening as a result of an automatic text that went out of my drip campaign, and they were texting me back. Now, I mean, there's nothing more powerful than to have an automated campaign go on and then have people text you back, right, automatically without you having to lift a finger. Now, what can do that by doing this, how can this strengthen your ability to close more deals or at least get people talking to you? If you're out spending money now with no automatic anything in place, I feel for you. I really do, because you're wasting money. You're flat out wasting money. Now, you'll see here, is everybody ready to do something? Well, I would say April up here in the right-hand corner is asking me a flat-out question. Now, Surprise is actually a city in Phoenix. So, yes, I mean, to me, she's asking me, do I service that area? But you can see how else, by looking at these responses, can I help people? Almost all of these, at some point or another, I'm hopeful to be able to help. And ideally, we would be sending stuff back to these people to keep the conversation going, right? So you will get this as well if you had something set up correctly. Now, obviously, despite the automation part, there is going to be a time where you're manually going to have to do something. This is part of our business. We need to be the person who picks up the phone. Are there dialers? Yes, there are. Do people know when the dialers are coming in? I do, because I get communicated by dialers all day long. But is it the best way? If you're getting a lot of leads and that you can automate it, damn straight. If it's working and you can do that, get on a dialer. I'm saying use the thing that's going to make it work for you, right? And so at the very minimum, you should be calling a lead when it comes in. And what did we say earlier? The people that respond first usually get the transaction, right? So picking up that phone. So if you're able to just have the system do everything else, if it can text for you, if it can email for you, right? And all you have to do is pick up the phone, and then you next have to do is turn off a campaign when you start getting engagement and people are actually wanting to work with you. That's pretty darn good, if that's all you have to do. So what do you need to do to get all of your leads in one spot and get sane, work smarter, not harder, and close more sales? So let's talk about what that looks like. Number one, you probably need an easy and affordable CRM. Most of us, if we have CRMs, we're either not paying for them because we might have got them from a title company. I know I had my share of that. But we also don't want to spend an arm and a leg for it if we can help it, right? And it needs to be efficient for us. What else? Get all of our leads in one spot, which include our prospects, our brand new leads coming in from wherever, Sphere, close clients, everybody. We need everyone in one spot. And we need to be able to search them too, right? So we also need to be able to auto-import those new leads that are coming in. So if you're getting Realtor.com leads or Zillow or Facebook or whatever, how are you getting them into the system? The faster you can get them into an automated system and into a CRM, the faster you're going to be able to respond, right? And if you are that person, good chance you're going to get that deal. Then, we talked about earlier, it's one thing to get all this and then start sending out stuff, but you got to send out something engaging. Long term, yeah, because people don't come on today and buy tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier. They're not going to buy from you if you don't stay in front of them, right? Or they're not going to use you to list their home if you don't send them something they're interested in and wanting to see. Auto-responding. So now you've got new leads coming in and you are sending out something, and you could even send out texting, send out auto text and video content, right? So whatever you're doing, it's automating. It's doing this by itself based on the lead source. And if you can tell your CRM what lead source it is, and it knows that you did an ad, like say you might be running 2 ads right now, one on Facebook for buyers and one for sellers. The system needs to know, is it for a buyer or is it for a seller, and which campaign are you sending out, so that it is separating it out and not sending them something randomly that doesn't make sense, okay? All right, so if you've been doing this any length of time, you very well may have a massive database full of old, stale leads that haven't done anything. You haven't communicated with, they haven't written you back, they haven't called you, you haven't been able to reach them on the phone. Whatever the situation is, you need to re-engage those guys. And if we could get, 10%, 20% of them to talk to you, would that be good? Whether or not they're ready to do anything or already bought or not, at least you know, right? If we can get more than that to talk to you, what do you think would happen to your business? So that's really, really key. And what about driving your prospects daily back to your website like I showed you earlier? Because not only could we set all this up just to try to get them to buy from you now, but how can we get those people to help you create organic online presence, right? So that people will find you organically if they just run a search for your niche, right? Your niche is that zip code you bought in Zillow or the single level homes in the desert, whatever it is, right? And also, what about responsive email and text templates? Now, the people start to write you back after you're sending stuff out, but you are saying the same thing over and over again. Wouldn't it make sense to have like preset templates in here that can send them back information? So how strong would that be for your business if you were on the road and you are in the grocery store and somebody texts you and says, yes, I would like that buyer guide or whatever it is you're offering, and you could just click boom and send it back to them while you're standing in the grocery line, pre-built, without having to write it because it's pre-built. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then daily searches. They should be getting stuff from you. They should be getting listing and market updates, whatever it is, depending on the kind of lead. They should be getting those listings from you because the reality is that's the most important thing you could be sending them to keep them engaged. Because you never know when they're going to be ready to go. You need to be there with the stuff they care about when they're ready to go. All right, so the question now becomes, are you hitting your monthly goals? From everything that you've just heard from me, are you hitting your monthly goals? Do you think that you could be doing better? I'm gathering if you've sat through this an hour long so far webinar that you may be feeling something I've said in this webinar so far is kind of hit home a little bit. So I'm glad you're still here. And I'm going to suggest that there's maybe a chance that you're still here because you might need some rescuing. You might be needing some help. Well, that's what I'm here for. Again, I think from what you've heard from me so far that I've got some information from my own experience that I am absolutely 100% adamant about sharing because I am you. I'm currently still you. I'm trying to get out of the full-blown daily grind because I am pretty burnt out from having to have worked this business in the way that I've worked it, learning, sniffing through it, trying to get this figured out. And now I feel as though it's time for me to help. And so I'm asking you, do you need rescuing at this point in your business? Do you think getting automated and helping you get these systems set up would be something that would be of value to you to increase your business so that you are closing more? Well, as a result of my desire to want to help agents stop working so hard and work smarter, I have spent the last, oh my gosh, well, I want to say years and years of putting together content because that is true. Everything that I've put into this new informative piece of material that I am now rolling out is as a result of all the ups and downs of my business that I've had that I have now figured out to put into a real estate lead rescue kit. And I can't tell you how much blood and sweat and tears I put into putting this together, but it certainly has been as a result of my own experience and realizing that we do not need to be reinventing the wheel. So I'm really excited today to be introducing my real estate lead rescue kit. And so basically, let me go through exactly what it is. I hope you hang out to listen to it because I truly believe that what I have to offer you is going to help you get to that next level in your business. So in this kit, we have your choice. You get a buyer lead rescue kit, a seller lead rescue kit, or if you're buying Zillow or Realtor.com leads, Zillow or Realtor.com rescue kit. Well, but I got to tell you, I'm sitting here and I was putting this together and I thought, oh, this will be fabulous because we got people that mostly are buyer agents, mostly are seller agents, and a lot of people are buying Zillow leads. And it occurred to me that none of us work in this little vacuum, right? And so the reality is that I had to stop for a second and go, you know what? I know I wouldn't want just a buyer campaign. I know I wouldn't want just a seller campaign. So to be honest with you, it just made way more sense for me to say, you know what, you need them all because we all work different kind of business. And if you don't now, you might. A lot of us start out, if you're brand new to real estate, you start out as a buyer, mostly a buyer agent, but eventually you want to be a seller. Almost everybody I talk to, and I train agents all over the country right now, almost everybody says they want more seller leads. Of course we do, right? Okay, so anyway, bottom line is I have decided that instead of breaking it out into 3 different kits, you're going to get all the training you need and all the campaigns you need to manage all of this different type of business. Now, keep in mind that the buyer campaign and the seller campaign will work for your Facebook business as well. So hang on, because I got more to share with you. What is all included in this? I just can't even tell you how excited I am about all this stuff. I kept thinking to myself, now, what can I do to add more value? What can I do to add more value? Because I know how hard this is to do this business. And if I can help you with stuff that worked for me through all these years of doing what I'm doing and helping thousands of agents. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned, but I've opened about 8,000 to 10,000 plus doors in my career. If I knew that I could help people with the experience that I had, why wouldn't I want to share it? Oh my God, I can't even believe it. I'm so excited. So first of all, I did mention earlier that I use LionDesk. If you do not have a CRM, then I'm going to say hands down, you need to be using LionDesk. If you're already using another CRM, I want you to listen, okay? Because I'm going to guess that you're stuck around this long because your CRM you're using right now is probably not working, or you're not using it for some reason or another, or you're using it but you're challenged. And I'm going to offer up some suggestions, so please stick with me, okay? This whole thing is not predicated on you using LionDesk, but I'm going to suggest that you do hear me out on this, okay? 30-day free trial. You can't not give that a chance, right? I don't work for LionDesk, by the way. I use it because it works. And just so you know, all of those CRM tools, most of the CRM tools that you saw on the list up there, I've had experience with. I either use them in my own business or I've helped train agents in them. I am very well versed moving around in a CRM without too much trouble. And I can tell you from all of the CRMs that I've used that LionDesk is not only one of the most affordable, but it also is one of the easiest to learn and use. So I make it very clear to you that I do not work for LionDesk. I use it because it works. And as a result, I've been able to tap in and help many, many agents with understanding the ups and downs of using LionDesk. I provide free help on the LionDesk forum as much as I can when I'm in there. As a result, LionDesk has asked me to be a third-party provider for them. So when somebody needs that extra boost, that they can come and talk to me about the help that they need. So just heads up, I'm just giving you that disclaimer. But it is a real estate CRM. It's meant strictly for realtors or real estate related business. It's easy to use in comparison, really. I mean, a CRM is only going to be as easy as you make it as you get in and keep using it, all right? It provides you auto emailing and it sends from your own personal email account. It also provides auto texting tool, and you don't need additional software to do it. There's other software out there that can help you communicate via text. It's built right in. So as a result, we can build in the emailing and texting right into campaigns, right? And it's already done. Not only that, but they also have video emailing and video texting right in the system. It's literally built right in. Text to sell codes. So you know how you have the sign writers out there. It doesn't necessarily need to be a sign writer, but it says text, you know, home 1 to the phone number that's provided. And then that information can get dumped right into your CRM. So it has the text-to-sell code software built right into its system. All you need to do is share it. You could even go do an ad on Facebook that says, hey, get your free buyer guide. You know, text buyer guide to whatever number. Now, when you get when the people text, you now have a new lead, right, with their phone number. And then they can dump right into a drip campaign as a result of that, right? Daily email and dashboard notifications. So every day you're notified of who's your hot business, who's opening your mail and clicking your links, who's texting you, and daily reminders of who your new leads are. All of that's coming in through LionDesk. Team and lead routing capabilities at no extra cost, which I thought was really key. I mean, I've been in other CRMs where they charge you extra for that. So you can actually build your team up in there and route leads out to them in the system, have campaigns go on from you and your team members. So, I mean, talk about powerful capabilities if you want to grow your business. Transaction and listing management tools and anything related to tracking all of that business is all built right into LionDesk. Pre-built, responsive, tried and true email and text campaigns. Well, I say this because as part of this kit, you are also going to get immediately ready to use campaigns that I have written and I currently use in my own business. And what I'm going to do is show you a few things about how do you fine tune these things to match your lead sources and what you're offering in your campaign. So they're pre-built. The other thing about LionDesk, it's affordable. You're not going to believe it. It's only $25 a month after your 30-day free trial. And I'm telling you, there's nothing out there that will provide you all of these tools that are included. Now, you're saying to yourself, well, I already have a CRM, and that's fine, you know. I still believe that this CRM is a good tool. But I would tell you this, because it is free for 30 days, there's, I don't think, any risk in you taking 100 to 200 of your own leads and plopping them in here and try to re-engage them and see what happens. And let the thing run its course and see what happens. It's not, if it's free for 30 days, I mean, why not give it a try? And everything's built in it. It's going to be built and ready for you to get in there and start using. So before you say, oh, no on this, I'm going to say give it a try, because it's not going to cost you anything additional to get in here for a free 30-day trial, you know, and get that working for you. So what else is included in this kit? Okay, I had to go through LionDesk first because LionDesk is the base of where all this stuff is built. And that's where I'm working my business and how I've closed deals out of that software. I'm telling you, it's all built there. So I had to start there. But built in there, you're going to get responsive drip campaigns. And I'm going to tell you how many campaigns you're getting here shortly. But what's included in the campaigns, they're pre-built and available for instant access. And if you decide that you don't want to use LionDesk, then you by all means could go and use Word versions of these, which is optional. I do have most of the campaigns in Word versions that are offered in LionDesk. So you could take them and put them in your own CRM if you did not want to give LionDesk a try. However, I do believe you should. Effective and engaging, they are, because they're the same things that I've used. And you got a handle on this, right? You know, I got thousands and thousands of internet leads through my career. I closed hundreds and hundreds of deals, and I've helped thousands of agents through their own lead generation and lead closing, having used these campaigns. And there are agents all over the country currently using these, getting massively great results. They're proven, they get response, and they're the same thing I use. They include both emails and texts, and you can add in video easily. And they're not in there necessarily other than the video holiday campaign right now. But eventually, you can add in your own video of you. Let's just say, how great would it be if you were at an open house and you got there a little early and you set up a template and it just said, thank you for visiting me at the open house, wearing the same clothes, right? And the minute they walked out, you turned on a campaign that ran for a year or two or however long you wanted it to run. And that first thing out of there was that video that you just created before they walked in the door, thanking them for showing up. And you just add their information in and click one button and it goes out for a year or two or three or however long you want it to go out, right? So it includes that. You can add that. Get them to open subject lines. That whole information I gave you about writing subject lines, these are all built into the campaigns already to get your mail open. High touch and pre-scheduled for 12 months plus. And I say 12 months plus because you can adjust them however long you want. The engagement part goes out for 12 months. It provides a reminder in there, but you're also going to learn how to add in listing information so that that listing information can go out forever. If you want it to go out forever, years and years and years. You can also say, all right, I want to be reminded at the end, or I could take the campaign and add in more at the end or turn it back on. I mean, there's a zillion things you can do, but we know people don't get online and buy tomorrow. And the great thing is that this is actual engagement. It's not, hey, let's go have coffee, because most people aren't going to go have coffee with some stranger, just so you know. It's not that, okay? Fields built in for your client name and all of your contact info to drive leads back to your website regularly. Okay, we want to do that. And then send daily, weekly, or monthly listings. As I mentioned earlier, they're built, the templates are built right in there. All we need to do is grab a URL from your website, or if you don't have a website, your MLS, and drive them back. It's built in automatically, especially if you're doing ads. This is the simplest thing in the world you can be doing. easily edit with your local market information, which we always want to do if we can. Now, is it important to do it right off the bat? No, we can get it running and you can come in and do that later. All right, so let's figure out what campaigns are included. Because I've now added all of those kits in, you're going to get all of these campaigns right here, buyers from any source like Facebook and online leads. So you got an online buyer campaign and one that even if you just met somebody on the street could be adjusted just to take out anything related to online leads. Sellers from any source like home valuation leads. A lot of us are doing what's my home worth type ads, campaigns built and ready to rock and roll for that. If you're buying Zillow leads or Realtor.com leads or plan to, those two campaigns are built specifically for that. At the very beginning of these campaigns, it references the, Zillow or Realtor.com. We know a lot of them come in asking about specific houses, right? So we're going to respond to try to get them engaged about that house or any other houses they might have an interest in. So those are 4 of the campaigns so far, but you're going to get some more campaigns. You're going to get 2 more for sure that are going to be re-engagement campaigns, right? So you remember I talked earlier about your old stale dead leads, right? We're going to mine that database of yours if you've got them. We're going to get them talking to you, trying to get them to respond by offering them something special, right? And you're going to get 1 for buyers and 1 for sellers. It doesn't matter where you got those leads from because we know they're either going to be buyers or sellers, right? We need to, since we know that, and maybe we don't yet, but I'm going to show you how we're going to find out. We're going to start sending out these campaigns to those people. And also because you're going to need this stuff too, all right? The re-engagement campaign is going to offer up a special gift. And that special gift is going to be a buyer or seller guide, depending on what kind of lead it is. And we know that you're probably going to need a buyer or seller guide if somebody asks for it. So this particular kit, and I've done this in the past where I haven't included the guides, well, I found that people really want the guides, so I'm adding it to this as a bonus. You're getting both buyer and seller guides. They are going to be in Word format. We can brand them to you, and I'm going to show you exactly how you brand them. They're just in a Word format. You're going to be able to put in all your logo, your image, your website, links back to your site, and any other additional information for local market information that you want, right? And I'm going to provide a video to show you how to do that. Next thing, okay, you've got old clients. You want a sphere campaign that you want to send out to them. And on top of the free holiday campaign, this is a monthly thing that you're going to send out that will go every single month. And that can go out for years on end. And so basically, those are for any lead you have in your database. So you've got yet another campaign. So that's 7 campaigns so far, I think it was. 6, 7, 7. Yeah, 7 campaigns so far. On top of that, remember earlier I said you're going to start getting a lot of responses from people saying the same thing over and over again. Well, I've written up responsive templates to what I know from my own experience of what you're going to get. And these will be preset in the system ready for you to use. And all you'll need to do is go, oh, they told me they already have an agent. I'm going to click this and respond back. And it's going to keep you in front of them, right? This is so powerful because the time it takes for us to sit in here and we most likely won't respond. I respond to almost everybody I possibly can, unless I guess they're being derogatory. But I'm going to have this preset in here for that. So you're ready to go. On top of this, all right, you've got the software. You've got the campaigns. Now you got to learn how to use everything. So I'm going to provide you automated, organized, and easy to engage, fast training on how to get this thing running fast, okay? This webinar course is step by step by step, and it's going to be very easy to follow. It's everything I teach on a daily basis. Hours on end I spend with agents. I know exactly what you need because I needed it. You need it as well. Module 1 will include Lion Desk Setup, CRM Basics. It's going to include just getting you running, rocking and rolling. And obviously, like I said, you got free 30 days, right? So want you to give it a try. It's $25 after the first month. Get in here and get some leads in. Even if you only put in 50, you know, you can easily import them. But I'm going to show you how to clean up your database because you're going to need to do that. If you've already got Lion Desk, I'm giving you training on how to clean that up and how to set everything up in here. I'm also going to show you how to clean up your Excel spreadsheets if you're bringing them in from somewhere else. How do you get them cleaned up so that they're cleaned up before we bring them in? It'll be way faster, way easier, right? And then how do you import them into LionDesk fast and easy so that you can get your stuff running? This is all about doing it quickly, because I know you're going to be overwhelmed if you try to hit too much and try to learn it from the, every single aspect of it at the beginning. Next, I'm going to show you how to access and get in all to your campaigns, how to easily edit them if you want, how to clone them to make them specific to your specific lead sources or ads you're doing, how to add in video if you want to do that in text campaigns, and assigning and turning them on and off, because you can turn them on in bulk to everybody if you want to, or one by one, and then turn them off if you need to. All right, so next, what else are we going to go through? We're going to teach you how to lead integrate into LionDesk. You're going to want to get your leads put into the system automatically. So by automating that, we can then turn on automated campaigns as well. And then we're going to also show you how to connect your Facebook ads. Those are really big these days. People doing ads, we're going to show you how to immediately get them dumped right into LionDesk without any issues at all. So you won't need a third-party software to do it either, because a lot of people are using Zapier. Do not need Zapier to get your leads into LionDesk from your Facebook ads. Also, LionDesk allows you to import leads from a lot of other different lead sources automatically without going through a big hassle. So I've been on this webinar a while. My throat's starting to dry out. A big hassle. So we're going to show you how to get all that stuff routed in here. And if you have teams, we're going to show you how to lead route to your teams. And if you don't have a team right now, then you'll know how to have it when that time comes. And then lastly, and one of the most exciting part about this is that I'm going to show you how to respond and manage and track your hot business within the system, because that's really what it boils down to. As I said earlier, your database is only as good as you can track it and find the hot business. So not only that, because we are going to be re-engaging old leads, I'm going to show you how to get that guide sent back out. So you're going to get it set up in here so it's automatically going to send out when it'll be built in here for you to automatically send it out really quickly. How do you track it? How do you mine it all? So now you've got 30 minutes or an hour to do some prospecting today. Who are you going to be looking for in there? How do you find them? And then my favorite part of this is that I have taught this class on how to lead convert and the success tips. You are going to get my training on that. How do you convert fast? And it's going to be not necessarily related to LionDesk, but really related more to what do you need to be doing? I mean, the things you need to do. You saw a little taste of it earlier in this webinar. What do you need to be doing to convert more deals, right? I'm going to show you what I have done and how I have created more business. I'm going to teach everything to you that I have done in my own business. So that is really, really exciting. You never want to lose track of your business. So I'm excited about that. So let's go through it all again. You're getting all of the campaigns. You're getting the templates, the responsive templates, the buyer and the seller guide, plus a video to show you how to brand it to yourself. And you're going to get the 5 different modules. And in each one of those modules are broken out into little sections that are small enough to be able to watch and do, watch and do, watch and do, because I don't want to overwhelm you. And you can take it at your own speed. It'll all be available in there for you to take it at your own speed. So from my own experience and what I've been doing and helping agents all over the country, this is a $2,700 value. Now, before you run away, just understand I'm not going to be selling it for this, okay? Just so you know. But with all of what's gone on here, I mean, think about what we were hoping to get you to do is to 12x your business, right? How much more sales you're going to have. Now, I also understand that once you get in and get going, that you might need a little advanced help on using LionDesk. Now, I don't want you to jump into this module training until after you get set up and running, because you won't need this necessarily. I've given you enough in the earlier training modules to get you off your feet. But I'm going to give you some advanced training that people pay significantly for me to do personally because they get overwhelmed, right? So you're going to get it all in this special training mode. And this is 8 modules that you can take at your own speed. You don't need it right away because I've given you all of the stuff you need to get your leads going and start getting, but this is going to cover all of that. And this is an $800 value to be able to do this. So I honestly, I really was in a tizzy over whether or not I should provide this as part of this, but I want to over-deliver, and I want to make sure that you are not going to get in and fail. I want to make sure that you get this done. So you'll have this here ready to be used right inside of your members page when you get in, where all of the training will be. Now I wanted to just show you a few people. This is only a few. I've helped thousands of agents through the years. This is feedback just over the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 months maybe, of people that have that I have personally helped. And I can tell you that from experience, I just can't even explain the joy I get from being able to help people with their business and know that it's working for them and that they are able to close more deals because of getting automated with good content, information that I know works for them. So I wanted to share this with you because I don't want you to think I'm just blowing steam, because I literally am here. I care about what's happening because I know we're working our butts off and we're not doing as well as we could be because we're overwhelmed. We don't have it in our tool belt to be able to handle all the business if we want to kick it up. So whatever level you're at in your business, wherever you're at, we want to make sure that we're covering that, right? And if you're brand new to this, you are going to learn some incredible things to get you off the ground. But this is really key for people that have a lot of business coming in, whether it's medium amounts and you want to get more, or you have a lot and you're just overwhelmed and you want to figure out a way to manage it. The better off you can get. So I'm excited to be able to share the comments from these few folks. I've gotten many more, but I'm just so happy and helpful to want to be able to help here in this case. So again, I just want to go back. You're going to get all of this stuff, and I can't even share with you how excited I am to be able to give you everything here. And all of this total now is $3,500. So what am I going to charge you? No, I'm not going to charge you $3,500 because I know that it's expensive for that. And if you were to piecemeal all this together and knowing what I've had to do, what I really want to do is make you successful as fast as possible and as affordably as possible. So I am going to slash the price on it for you today. Now I will tell you, again, I've gone through what am I going to charge, what am I going to offer, because I obviously am in this to make a little bit of money for my own business, but the reality is I know that it's all going to come back as you get help. You're going to share the information with others. And because this is new and I'm introducing it, the pricing I was going to charge right off the bat was going to be $1,000, but I have dropped the price for a limited time to get this rolling, to see how well it does, to see how well you do. I only asked in exchange that for $7.97 that you send me back information about how well it's working for you so that I know if I'm asking you to help me, then you're getting a price that's really affordable. And, when you think about what you'd spend monthly on your leads, this is nothing, a limited time. One time I'm going to charge $7.97, and that's all you'll need to pay in order to get full access for the lifetime to this course. And you can keep it and use it however you need to use it for your business. So what is $7.97 really worth to you? Let's just go through it really quick. Half a month wages maybe for a part-time assistant. I know in my case, I spend a little bit more than that, but I know through the automation, I haven't needed to have her around as much because I know things are happening. You might be spending this amount for 20 to 30 leads from Zillow, if you even get that many, depending on your market, right? You also, minimum 1 extra closing a month. We want to get at least that out of that. We should be able to easily do that, right? And then effective, tried and true, pre-built prospecting all ready for you to use. So reality is you just can't afford not to do this. I mean, look what you're going to get. And if you can get 1 extra deal a month out of a $7.97 investment, I just can't. It doesn't make sense why you wouldn't want to do that. So again, I'm going through everything that you're going to make sure, that I'm going to make sure I cover and that you're going to get so that you are ready to rock and roll and make this as easy as you possibly can. And I do want to remind you that you really need to plan to, if you're new to LionDesk or you're using some other CRM, let's just give it a try because I truly believe you're going to see some results really quickly. And if you're still here on this webinar now, there's a good chance that you probably are still needing the help that I'm providing you. You're also going to get all that extra free stuff. Now, a couple of frequently asked questions I get a lot about of this is that we do want to confirm that video, is video included in this? Yeah, I don't have any videos that I have created in the engagement part of the campaigns, part of that is that all of our business is a little different. However, that will be coming. So in the event I do add this over the next year or so, it'll be generic enough that you can get in and get access to it. So any new updates you will get to any of the campaigns that I might add video to. I get a lot of questions about Facebook. Will Facebook work with this? Yes, it will. And again, I'm going to go through in the training exactly how to get that set up so that you have it and that it's working smoothly for you. So you want to make sure and watch those training videos. The other thing is, if you're not using LionDesk, what do you want to do? Again, that question comes up a lot. Let's say you go through this whole thing and just decide that you don't want to use LionDesk. I get it, right? I do have the campaigns in Word format, so if you get to the point where you do feel that way, please do reach out to me, and we can talk about getting the Word format versions over to you. But I really, really want you to give LionDesk a try, because I think that you're missing out on an opportunity for an affordable CRM that's going to work and do all the things you need it to do. Again, I don't work for them. If you have technical issues, you will have to call them on it, but that's me using the system as an agent. I've had great success with it. And so then another question is, what happens if I need personal help? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I understand that some of us aren't so good at the video learning, right? I would say, because of the way that I've trained it, that I believe that if you take it slow, that the video training will work for you. On the other hand, if you feel you need additional help, I do provide additional help. So the extra help that I offer is in either a group session or one-on-one session. So the group session is basically a Facebook group that you're going to get an opportunity to join. And with that, you'll have that opportunity to come in during Q&A sessions that I do live during the month, and you'll be notified when those happen. So if you come in that way, then you can ask questions in a group session so you can learn. I'll answer anything I can during that. Or if we've got other people in the group that are there, then you can learn from the questions that they ask as well. Your other option is going to be to set up a one-on-one appointment with me, and we can talk more about what your needs are. So if you're wanting to do this specifically, you just strictly do not want anything to do with doing video work. You want it done. You want pretty much kind of walk through. We could do a screen share, and we can set up a plan that's going to work for you and your business, specific to everything that you want done. So that way I'll tailor it for whatever you need for your business. Now, a lot of people I find need it for certain kind of weird, I shouldn't say weird, but one-off type businesses that you might have. Maybe you want drip campaigns written. Maybe you just aren't good with video at all and you need that extra help to get it through. So it's really just going to depend on what your needs are. If you've got a big team and you want some help trying to get that set up, obviously I've been that team root, done a ton of that. So I'm here in any capacity. We don't want to leave you hanging. If you aren't one that can do well with the video lessons, then by all means, let's talk and we'll put together a plan that's going to work for you. I just let you know it's not going to be at the price that I've got here, because this is a special pricing for the course, which I put together because of the need. I wanted to be able to help more people, and my time has gotten limited during the day due to demand, and I wanted to be able to see what I could do to put together a course that was going to work for more people, right? So, but the one-on-one time, that's what I'm doing now, and I absolutely can do that. We just put together based on what your business needs are. So reach out. I will give you contact information to get a hold of me if that's something you're interested in wanting to talk to me about. I do want to make sure that you're closing at least 12 more deals this year, at least. So what can I do to help you more? I'm going to keep on fighting to figure that out, and as time goes by and I get responses and feedback from you, that I do anticipate that I'm going to get even better at what I've done, but I know from my own experience that it will work for you. So that's our goal. So again, I'm going to provide you a link down below to sign up for LionDesk. So if you want to get that free 30-day pricing, I want to make sure that you sign up. So do go to the link that I provided if you would. It is an affiliate link. I don't get a ton of dollars on it, but just in exchange for this webinar, if you got anything out of this, I would really appreciate you using the link. So do tap into that. I'm also going to be providing you in the next screen, as you click through, the codes to get into your LionDesk video holiday campaign, so do follow through in the links below here. And now if you're ready to get signed up, start getting automated and organized. Stop working so crazy, work smarter, not harder, and let's close some more sales for you out of your current database or your future database before you start spending more money. I'm really, really excited to be opening up this new lead rescue kit, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am that you spent this much time on this webinar, because I truly believe that you're going to get huge value out of this. So please start saving yourself. Let me help you. Let me rescue you a little bit. You've got to get in and do the work, but once you get in there, I promise you that it will be worth your time. So anyway, I want to thank you again for joining me today. It's been a pleasure having you with me and spending this time, and I know that by you taking this first step, that your business is going to get smoothed out, that you're going to spend more time with your family, that you're going to be able to rest knowing that that your leads are being taken care of, and that you're not wasting your money. So again, thank you so much, and please reach out if you have any questions. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you in the training room. You will have your own individual sign-in area once you get in, and all of your training modules and campaigns will be instantly accessible. So get in there and sign up, and we'll see you in the training room. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.